But welcome everyone. We are Thin Line Defense, your favorite YouTube guns gear review channel. Happy to be here on this Thursday night live chat. It's a little frustrating on this. I don't see anyone's comments until we go live. So all the pre-gaming stuff we're not seeing.
Well, we get to see it not until it actually starts. Usually we come in here in the green room. We're like laughing at you guys' comments before we start.
We actually just pretend like we know what you're saying and end up drinking anyway.
Right. Yeah. I knew what you guys were doing in the comment section.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt says, "Here we go."
Speaking of Sean, good to have you back. I know you have some tomfoolery every time we try to do live chat, so it's good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I missed you guys.
Yeah, you've had some dumb.
And I never get tired of the Sean is dead comments too. So
hey,
those are always good.
I got that for a year. So
it's like, oh, they found him.
Yeah. That's true. I forgot about that. One thing that I will say for those of you that are watching, we are live, hopefully, I should say hopefully, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. We can see comments from all three of those. We are also live on Twitter, or we should be live on Twitter. We can't see your comments. I don't think there's a way to go like live comments on Twitter yet. So
X. Did you go live on X?
X, sorry, yes. Live on X.
Yet.
It's hard. They said that you had to go in and do something special last time that you didn't.
Yeah.
Like they call it X, but I don't think it's actually the business is called X.
I don't know.
Yeah, Prepper Book Club. Glad Sean is back from his incarceration. I'm sorry, glad Sion is back from his incarceration.
If Sean got incarcerated, I mean, there's a lot of bad things that happen. I'll say that right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, he's too good for that's his going joke now. Cody lost in the desert, and Sion is in prison.
Yeah. It's the least likely thing that Cody's out somewhere in the woods, and also Sean went to jail.
Yeah. We should have said that his kayak sank. That would have been the least likely.
Ironside Army, hey, yo.
The good news is, if a kayak sank, at least he wasn't on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Somebody else is on it.
The garage must have flooded.
No, she's down.
Yeah, dude. Wizard. What's up, dude?
If you're just new joining us, make sure feel free to join in the Wizard games. Grab your drink of choice whenever we say Wizard. Grab your drink or your beverage, or anytime you want to join in. Feel free to do that also.
Hey, did you get whiskey and Mountain Dew this week, Wolf?
No, I have coffee.
We
did you
are
put Bailey's in it?
Twitter.
No.
That's awesome.
I don't know why you're here. Why are you here?
I know. I'm getting old, and you can drink so much. Like,
Ironside Army with some Wizard Demnees, Wizard Truth Boogs, Wizard Tiger.
Take some
Michael Farley, greetings, my fellow wizard. What's up, buddy?
You guys are so good to us.
Croak chiming in with some wizards. This is all pregame. This is all comments from before we went live.
See, USMC Rabbit in the comments. Let me know, because I owe him an apology. I don't owe him an apology. There was some other commenter on YouTube who was just being a total d-bag. I did him a favor.
I think that's Mike Farley.
Oh, well,
right.
I think
Mike Farley,
Farley,
USMC Rabbit. I think so.
I think it is him. So either way, there was someone. He was like, there was some commenter who was he's just being rude to him. I was like, hey man, I'm gonna do you a favor. Remove him from the channel. Like, we don't need any of that. Thank you though. It's like, this is what I need from you guys. Like, here's what you're going to get. The boot.
Big Truck said, what's up, boys? Richard
truck.
Snyder.
Heck yeah.
What's up, everyone? So we're going to try to stick to the same schedule that we had last week. For those of you that are the old school guys, you know that we tried something a little new last week. Hopefully, Walsh helped me out. I got some help from Croak and Caleb and some other folks. Hopefully we kind of ironed out the wrinkles and this flows a lot smoother this time. One of the things that we did have a poll on YouTube. We want to get your feedback. If you guys like this new structure that we're putting together on our live chats, I like it. And I also like coming up with questions and surprising the guys with what questions we're gonna be asking during the Q&A portion towards the end of this, or I guess halfway part. Croak. Twitter's coming in clean. Awesome.
Nice.
Sean's not dead.
A comment that someone said to me, it's later on. It says that the invite to Twitter is not Twitter to Discord is all busted up. So I'm gonna see if I can fix it real quick.
So when you copy it, make sure you do the there's a drop down so that it never expires. So 12 Bravo says order. I always forget what the order is. And with
Cody
this
has it,
method,
but-
it's not as easy to change. Okay, so
Cody has it.
Cody.
Oh yeah, it's a huge pain now.
Cody is up here.
But that's fine. That chart doesn't count. Oh
No, I love
Put
that.
Sean right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Just a little tiny stick.
okay. How do I
We're gonna
fix
do something like this.
your channel? How do I do this?
Are we doing it live?
Yeah,
No,
I'm trying
I like
to. I'm
how
trying to fix
everybody's
this.
doing like side tasks, so
We
we're
are.
not actually doing a chat.
No, we are. We're doing it all. We're doing all the things.
Yeah. All
doing
the things.
anything but
Yeah.
chatting.
See?
We're
I mean,
doing
I
all
can
normally
fill in the
picking your
gap and talk,
fingernails.
but I don't know what section this is and what I'm supposed to be talking about.
This is the BS section.
This is off
Oh.
the rails.
Yeah, this is a little bit off. Okay, whoever was saying the Discord was broken, I updated it
How's that?
in the. It's perfect. Oh, there you go, perfect.
This is
I
about as
updated
good as you're
on-
gonna get, 12 Bravo.
The YouTube information was updated, and I'm gonna put the Discord link down here too, so you can come in Discord and go crazy. I try to go like Jason. I don't know how you stay on top of Discord. I come in there every once in a while, and then there's a whole conversation that I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. So what I do is
everything you go into, whether it be the chat, Discord, the internet, it's like you're the Kool-Aid man, dude. You just
always.
bust to the wall, spill
Hey!
That's gonna
everywhere,
be pissed.
and then
Well,
you leave.
And if you guys aren't in Discord, I mean, I really like how we have it structured there right now. So we have just kind of a general Q&A area. You can just talk about whatever. We got one specifically for shooting, for moving, medication, survival, general advice. There's a place you can show your custom builds. I really like hanging out over there. And to answer Walsh's question, I treat it kind of like how I treat comments here. I skip a lot of them. Yes.
Got it.
I
I'm
made
gonna create a car section.
ooh.
Well, do you have a computer?
You need it. Yeah, you're not even on Discord. You could definitely make a car section. You're not
I know,
even
I'm going
on
to.
here.
But then the rule could be that if you say something nice about Ford, you get kicked out.
That's why
Just boot it out.
we'll bring Joe on and then we won't give him any admin rights.
That sounds about
We'll
par for
we'll
course.
tell him it's all voice activated, so he's yelling at his computer the whole time.
Representative.
Boot.
Representative.
That'll happen regardless.
Yeah.
Cody,
12 Bravo
that
is
was a good
asking.
one, Cody.
Cody, did you see the kayak with the paragliding engine?
I did, and I've also saw a guy who got a big old electric, like a RC engine, and put it on the back of his boat, and it was super cool.
That is cool.
But I don't have a kayak anymore, Bravo. So
Yeah, I got Croaks making fun of me in Discord with the Kool-Aid Man thing. I don't think that's what I do.
Yes,
Oh,
that
dude,
is exactly
all the time. When remember this happened on StreamYard, we would be like running the intro or the 30-second countdown, going live, and you would see Walsh pop in, and to the viewers, it was like he was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Or
Like
or
3
we'd be
seconds.
right about to start talking trash about him, and then automatically just pops
Yeah.
into the
And he
scene.
always-
Like,
You don't pop in and just wait to see what we're talking about or who's talking.
Nope.
You pop in and you're like, "Hey, I'm here! Yay!" Like right in the middle of our conversation.
Maybe I should get a Kool-Aid Man
You
shirt.
You should.
But
So
it
much
should
for
be
it.
like
oh no,
I tried to
crudely.
make a Kool-Aid Man reference not too terribly long ago, and the person didn't know what I was talking about.
Oh, that's a youngin.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Oh, yeah,
you should like put your face on the jug and like just crudely, like it was cut out of a picture and pasted on there.
A bearded Kool-Aid jar.
Well, patchy.
Yeah,
bearded
it
Kool-Aid.
says, "Oh no."
Oh no.
yeah, like the dang.
No,
the
it
dang
has to say,
Cook
"Hey,
skit.
everybody." 'Cause that's what
12
you
Bravo
say.
says, Walsh, where's your chains? You need those.
I don't know where those went. I think my kids stole them. They thought they were hilarious and wore them for a while. They're probably in like
The dang
a little
Cook
prop-
skit where he's like, your head's open, you got debris just falling in. My dad's gonna be pissed at you busted a hole in our wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some cool
076 Liberty says, so no car talk? Probably not.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make
boring,
that
right?
one of the questions one of these days.
Do we want a
Just
car talk?
randomly?
Like, no one says anything. Like,
Be like, what do you think?
GL dude, stream was frozen on my side. Had to refresh. That's coming in from YouTube.
Uh-oh.
That was 5 minutes ago, though.
Oh,
Michael Farley, the dude really said, I was doing things since you were in earth science, like I was some teenager. Those kinds of comments are cringy AF.
yeah. It was just weird because he was just being rude, and it's like there's no point. Like he was trying to like make demands of like, here's what we want, what I want from your channel. Like, cool. I want to show you the door, and I have.
Here's
Definitely
what I
don't
want.
come in and be
Not
rude
to
to our
listen to you
OGs.
anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like don't do that.
Just don't be
There you
rude
go.
at all.
Yeah, and like if you don't
Thank
like our
you,
channel,
Walt.
yeah, I just post that. And here's my thing: like maybe this is wild. Like this is like a wild thought process. If you don't like our channel, don't watch it. Don't
No,
make
that's not how
comments
it works.
on what,
That ain't
yeah,
wild. That's
right.
just like when a speaker shows up to your college campus, don't go and listen to them.
Instead,
I like the latest one with Candace Owens where they're
dude,
like,
I'm too pregnant for this.
what do you have to say to all the people that like all the trans people that you're offending with this? And she was like, life's
That's
tough,
not
get
what
a
she
helmet.
said. She said something like that they're having some type of complex for her being
You know
there.
what I'm trying to
speaking.
figure out how do I mute people?
Yeah.
dude, hold on.
Joe watches this and tells me I'm wrong all the time.
Croak is working on something right now that I need to share with you all.
Oh, I'm on
Or
Discord.
triggered. That's what she said. Or emotional damage because you're here speaking right now. Something like that.
Oh, she's like, I'm too pregnant for this.
Yeah. She's like,
life's tough, get a helmet.
Get a helmet.
Yeah.
I'm too pregnant for this.
Jason, can I? I'm going to transition this over for a
Yeah,
second.
go for it.
This is what Croak is currently putting together over on Discord.
You know, you have to transition.
I
You have to
did. I
click
did
the
it.
button, right?
I did click it.
All I hear is the ceiling fan now.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
There you go. Now you
Yeah.
He's
got it.
got a plate carrier on.
Yeah, I know. He
Yeah.
looks awesome.
How's he
He's-
doing?
But you gotta change
hold
his face.
And he's
Hold
got look at his
Creepy
hand.
face.
He's got sandwiches in his hands, and he's all ripped. I need that. I'm gonna make a poster of that. Okay, how do I go back?
He's gonna hang it in his gym to
And it
motivate
needs
him.
to say, "Oh no."
Hey, everybody!
Hey, everybody.
Hold on. Did you see the bad Photoshop edition?
Yeah, that's the one you should share.
Yeah. It takes a little
Is
bit
it
for
your
the transition
face?
to show up on you guys' screen. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that's
just.
so bad.
Did that work?
Yeah, sort of. So tiny.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
All right. remember
Try
that.
looking at it through a phone.
That's the best part, dude. Because we know what it's supposed to be, and it's still funny.
That was about
Um,
1/10 the size of a stamp.
Here's Danny
bigger
Danielle
phone.
Bob says, I'm just gonna keep asking about that attack pack review. Maybe I will just buy one and not share a video on my channel.
So the cool part is that the attack pack belt really kind of falls more like we talk about a little bit of like the tactical side or law enforcement or civilian, and it's interesting because the attack pack belt really falls into a little more of like the hiking and survival side. So that's what's awesome in the fact that this guy has that belt and he's got to one day show it to you, and it's not my fault for once.
love people have been asking for Walsh for this for like a year, and then he like kicked it over to Sean, and he was like, "What? No, it's not it's Sean's.
Yeah.
Ask Sean about this."
Now I
He's like,
gotta
wait, they've
figure
been
it out.
asking for it? Like, oh, I didn't tell you that, by the way.
Yeah. But joke's on everybody else. He never mailed it to Sean.
No, he hasn't.
No, I definitely have it.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, Prepper Book Club did get his patch. Confirmed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Grass.
All right.
No wonder it's getting
Prepper.
cold outside.
All right. We come up to our first segment, so we're gonna get into
Real
our
quick.
no.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go.
Schedule.
Oh, do you have my tracking number for my boots? We could pause for that.
No, we don't have that. We don't have that.
Then carry on, Jason.
Time
Trying
for
to share
our
it with that,
YouTube roundup.
Do it.
Nothing's happening.
Where we talk about our videos for the last week. The main ones, unless we want to touch on the shorts, but the main ones, we had the Phoenix flashlight video that Joe put out, and we had the MEPC 2.0 video, which I'm rocking a MEPC 1.0, not
2.0.
2.0.
And
So,
and with that, as a reminder for everybody, I'll put the link out.
Oh,
But we have the
yeah.
giveaway for the one that's in the video. So if you guys haven't watched the video, we have one. We have one we put together in the whole MEPC 2.0 video. Then we're going to give away that exact one. So if you haven't entered, I'll put the link into it for that giveaway. Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once.
yeah.
And I want to apologize in advance, 'cause I know my Phoenix flashlight video is terrible, but it's hard to do a fun flashlight video if I'm not destroying stuff. I'm going to be honest with you.
People would just want to see them hands.
Honestly,
That's all it is, though.
Dude, it's a flashlight. I mean, really cool, and I liked it. I didn't like the accessory, but it's a flashlight. Like, how do you explain a flashlight?
Very carefully.
Yeah, it was weird, the M-Lock mount, because it seemed finicky, which I wouldn't have expected. Like, M-Lock should be pretty standard, so it was like, it fits this one, but not those, which, I don't know. I thought
Which
that
is
was
funny, because they reinvented the wheel on it, and it didn't work. Like, if you're
Yeah.
going to reinvent the wheel, it has to work.
Yeah, I get that. So
But
checking
the
in
flashlight
with
itself, I really liked. I really did.
12 Bravo says, pass on the light. It falls short for the price. Go.
How much was it?
125, I think. What it retailed for?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in pretty solid Streamlight territory right there.
I don't know, dude, but I liked it. Like, does Streamlight
Yeah.
have rechargeable batteries that come with it
I
for
think so.
120 bucks?
Ducklesworth says, Such makes hundreds of videos on flashlights. Ask him. I don't know if we're at the level to just email Such 00 and be like, hey, Broseph.
Hey, can you just make? Oh, you already made it, and we just post it and put Joe's mask over it. Like, hey, it's done. That's video's done.
Michael Farley says, Joe, I was disappointed. You didn't fidget with your hands enough for my taste. Do better.
I know. Did you see at the end?
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
eat this. I think you should, like, I could say go the other way. I would lean into it. Like, I wouldn't. I think that's the funny part about it. Like, don't like take it as like an insult. Like, lean way into it and just.
Oh, I don't care, dude. I
Yeah.
fidget all the time, so I know it's annoying.
Yeah, but
but
remember,
I do it
like
all
we
the
were
time.
teasing you about the AR-10 build and like the shitty pieces of furniture you put on it, and
Don't talk
and you were like,
talk about my gun like that.
you were like, I'm never going to
Don't talk
change
about
those
my.
now.
I'm not.
And that's
Guess
what's
what's still
funny.
on it?
Like, it's funny.
Guess what's still on it?
I know,
horrible
but I'm
bird
saying
tape.
like you need to play in that when people tease you about you fidgeting. Like,
Yeah.
go
The other way.
times 10.
Yeah. Just like if you're talking and you're just constantly just rapping like there's pretend keys on the keyboard. Just
Jay Seria says Phoenix makes okay lights, similar to Nightcore in my opinion and experience. I have some Phoenix lights that have been issued that, like the PD35, I really liked.
I'm kind of with you on Nightcore. I guess I would put them together. I'm just not like, I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd have a hard time recommending either one of them. It's like, hey, this is like if you just need a flashlight, it's fine. Just grab this one. It's fine.
If
It's not
you
like-
just wanted a flashlight to, take hunting, camping, throw in your tackle box, use as an everyday flashlight, that flashlight would be awesome.
Okay. Here's my question.
For a tactical flashlight, it's absolutely terrible.
Would you, for Christmas, would you give it somebody as a gift, or would it be like a white elephant?
That's too
I'll give it
expensive to
to-
give as a gift.
I would give it to somebody on a gift.
Okay. All
As a
right. That's,
white
that's,
elephant?
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then. I would say it's pretty
Yeah.
good. It's not like one of those like, yeah.
Dude,
just
like
somebody-
the lowest setting is really good at night. I hate washing everything out. Like
Yeah.
when you're looking through your backpack and you turn a flashlight on it, like either you can't see behind your backpack because it's so bright, or when you look up, you can't see anything around you because you destroyed your night vision. Like the lowest setting is really good, and the highest setting is like pretty much the sun.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that the batteries are cheap and that you can get the charger for relatively cheap. Oh, that was cool.
Bailey's asking Bailey has a question for Joe. Says, Joe, we always get these great hand reviews. When are you going to switch things up and give us a foot review?
Yeah.
That's gross.
He doesn't have the toes for it. You know who's got those feature codes?
Joe,
I'm not against feet picture. Long I'm going to make a lot of money.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like you have to really like lean into the jokes, right? So if you like, it just be one time it cuts to you at the desk, and it's just your hands in socks, and you're trying to paw at what you're trying to do, and you're struggling, but like you never say a word about it, and then the next scene is just back to normal. Like
J-Dub. Hey, yo. What's up, J-Dub?
Hey, yo.
What
What's
up?
Michael Farley. I had a Phoenix Light when I was in Afghanistan and loved it, but it died. And when I went to buy a new one, it had been discontinued. Hashtag.
Yeah,
I'm still an Olight fanboy. I know everybody else has left the train station.
I haven't, Cody. But I'll tell you this: between the two, because I have one of the nicer Olights that I use at work, and you half push it, and you get the dim setting. You fully push it, you get the bright setting.
Yep.
This about the same price as the Olight, and it blows it out of the water.
That's interesting.
So I'm still an Olight fan. I have them everywhere. Look,
but I'm with Cody. Like people try to give it grief, like give Olight grief. I'm like, dude, all of us together, we have 0 broken Olights. Like I can't give them any grief. Like I can't say anything. They're all functional. Like I would love to give Olight grief, but I can't.
Cody, I'm so dedicated to Olight. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, that's it.
What'd you say?
I'm so dedicated to Olight that I put one on the Prodigy, and I have a Safariland $270 holster in my cart for the Olight.
Yeah.
Here's a picture from Prepper Book Club in our Discord. This is his drink of the night and confirmation that he got the patch.
Heck yes.
That's
about time.
Now he probably thought like he was like, I'm never gonna get this, but at this point, that's basically like a famous patch. Like that has been on the live chat like 20
more
times.
than any other patch, even the ones that we own.
Yeah.
I have that patch in my Jeep, and my girls think that's me.
Oh, it looks
They're
like
always like, that's Daddy?
You can just say it is.
I mean, it kind of looks. I can see that a beard and old as dirt. Yeah.
Like I would love to put like get a like an OpsCore helmet and like get it in the same mold, but then show like your face and then like have it transition into the patch. I think that would be pretty cool.
So this is a good question.
Oh, yeah.
JFish1219 says, wasn't there something about Olights blowing up? There was a lawsuit that happened like in 2015. The one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is it wasn't an Olight battery. It was some other brand battery that was in it. And it was like the kid had it in his mouth. He was like using it in his mouth as he was trying to light his engine bay because his car broke down or something.
So and interestingly, the case, and this is what really gets interesting, where people like kind of just parrot what they hear. The case was never against Olight. Like I tried to find it. Like I was like, hey, what happened in this case? The case was actually against Batteries Plus because the battery was the thing that exploded. So yeah, so it wasn't actually because the guy's not using authorized batteries. But anyway, Olight was never in a lawsuit. So that's why it was like this whole like urban myth thing of like, what about this lawsuit? Like, yeah, you never found it because it never actually happened. So yeah,
but they do have a sensor now, like in the lens. So if it's close to something, it'll automatically dim. So if it's on full blast and you have it up close to something, it'll dim.
Yeah, because I think the original ones would like burn, but I think he had it in his mouth. He was like looking around, and the housing or whatever caused the battery to touch the car battery. He introduced a car battery to his flashlight with his mouth, and it caused an explosion.
Yeah.
Oh.
My question is.
Sorry.
You guys are using these as tactical flashlights. Do you use them that often? And have you worked any of the Olight? Olight has a headlamp series too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a couple different variations.
Yeah. Have we gotten to use those?
Yeah, I have one at work. It's we'll just call it okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Well, it's designed for a hard hat, right? So if you have it on a hard hat and you're always standing up, it's just fine. But the big battery pack is right on the back of it and the lights on the front of it. So with me now in a shop, if I put it on and I try to lay down on a creeper, I'm laying on the back.
So they make a different one. They make a different one that doesn't have the battery pack on the back. It has a flashlight that you can remove from the mount. So you could take it out of the mount, and it has a clip. You could clip it to something, and it has the magnetic bottom, so you could stick it to something or put it back into the headband.
Yeah.
So that's the Perun is the one that I'm talking about. The Array is the one that Joe has.
Let's call it the pre-run. Like I've never knew it was
I know
Perun.
you do. PERUN.
Yeah, I'm like,
Hey,
my
run.
brain's like,
Hey, run.
nope, pre-run. Like, I'm like, I need to go
all right.
run and I need to get my pre-run light. I'm like, that's not like it's fine.
So
It's fine.
speaking of running,
Oh,
you run a lot in that MEPC 2.0. Let's
what a
talk
good
about
segue.
that video. How's that segue?
Oh,
That was a good
no.
segue.
So what's funny is I was even talking to Jesse over at Defense Mechanisms, and he was like, I was just like, hey, he's like, hey, you guys, your video was really good. And he's like, what's funny is we had a bunch of people contact us of like, when was the update? I'm like, he wasn't realizing like none of these viewers realize you've had that plate carrier sitting in your background for like 4 months. I'm like, yeah, like you guys updated that a while ago. We just never like talked about all the changes. So it was interesting.
I want to say round of applause to Miss Walsh for being a good spirit or a good sport
good spirit.
and putting up with your crap.
Yeah, she was funny. She was like, I gotta put it on
For
again.
so
I
long.
was like, it's important. She's like, we had to
Listen.
show it. Like, yeah, and then I didn't just spin around.
I don't think you guys understand how long she's put up with Walsh's shit.
I know.
A long time.
A long time.
And I
Like
don't even know
longer
Walsh
than
as long as
necessary.
Cody and Joe do.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, she's known him a lot
Jason's
longer
the one
than me.
that said we can only do an hour and a half live chats because Walsh is in them.
Because what?
Walsh is in them.
And then I leave.
Yeah, because Jason can only stand to be around you for an hour and a half. That's where the whole thing came
I was
from.
waiting for the punchline.
There were, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
there it is. Oh,
It was
oh
implied.
no.
I didn't think I had to explain it, but got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I'm sure
Yeah,
there are plenty of people out there that
my
knew.
walls are painted white.
Mhm.
You know, because the thing, I didn't think I'd have to explain that.
Croca on Discord has his. He has his. I think that's a K19 or a K0 on. I think it's a K19.
Toasted breakfast.
You don't know? Does it have a zipper?
Please.
Has a zipper.
Yeah, zipper
K19.
K19. Yeah.
Doofus.
Dude, I will say this. Oh, back to Walsh thing. I will say that the backpack idea, I know you've shown that before on that, probably the version 1. But that's actually a really good idea. I wonder how much, because it's not mollied in, how much does it actually flop around on your back and move around?
The rear one?
Recondite?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
rear
Not
pack.
at all. Because it's like held in with the side straps and everything.
Yeah, what if you like load it down with stuff and then you're walking or running? Does it bounce
It won't
and move around?
because it's held up and down by the top straps and then side to side by the other one. So it's all secured down.
No.
So
Can
like
you
a
get
good
to
idea.
it from your back? Like, can you pull it over?
Yeah.
Oh,
Somebody didn't watch the
genius.
video.
somebody didn't watch.
I didn't honestly.
Ta-da!
I
And
like
you can
it.
even like, because then it's just held with G hooks. So you're like, I don't want to have this stupid water on me, and you could just get it
Yeah,
off.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
hate
best.
stupid water.
That's the best idea
Yeah,
for the
super
backpack that
smart.
I've seen yet.
That's what we were talking about, though. Remember, we were talking about that with LA police gear. We're like, we want a backpack that you can pull over to the front and access it,
Yeah.
and then put it back.
I bet you somebody was watching our live chat
Yeah.
That's
Probably.
pretty close.
because there's a couple of them. So the Shaw Concepts one does that. The Javelin Concepts one does that now, and the Defense Mechanisms one. So it's probably going to be the standard. Like they all pretty much connect in the same way. The Shaw one sells it like we have this crazy new thing. Like, it's been a while for a little bit.
I love how
J-Fish.
Sean reaction at the same as that recon super sniper recon scout reaction was.
Is there another punchline coming?
No, did you not hear Sean? Am I talking to
Sean?
myself today?
What
That,
what is Shaw?
that's Sean.
What did
Okay.
he
He
do?
said, yeah, become water terrible. Like he was
Yeah.
saying, why would you throw your pack with water in it?
Yeah.
He had the same reaction at the recon scout because all they do is walk around in the woods. Sean,
Yeah.
us
Oh.
normal people, we ride in vehicles,
want-
and having water on your back in a vehicle for 2 hours sucks. Absolutely sucks.
I've just ran with a lot of water on my back, like doing a lot of
But here's
those like long runs, and I hate that.
Here's the problem: we're from a certain branch where other branches are rucking around. We're in air-conditioned vehicles. That's why we're fussing about the water.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I don't want to
There's
carry
nothing else.
that.
Nothing else
And
to
I'm-
complain about.
when I'm tired and
Seriously, you're
thirsty,
gonna
I
make me
go
carry
back to the
3 liters
truck.
of water? What the hell?
I think
Not
my
in the army.
experiences are slightly different than yours.
I
I
know.
remember in basic training, everybody when we were drinking out of the canteens, you're like, "My water's icky." I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
Oh,
Did you ever put soda in your plastic canteen?
No,
I
No.
did that
where did
My
you
tr-
get soda at?
from the towel.
I remember people. Remember
Not
basic, we'd have the
basic
whole-
out
tech
in
school.
no, not in tech school. We actually had real exercises that we still to wear all that stuff.
Do you remember how stupid
Oh.
people were? Like they'd be like, "Take your canteen after you're done drinking it and hold
And
it
then
over your
dump it.
head." Like so,
Yeah.
like a smart person, you drink it quickly. You get these other kids like, "Put it over your head, put it over your head," and they're like, just pour water all over. Like stupid idiots. Every
Yeah,
time,
people think
like
that the
someone
Air
threw
Force
up
is
too. Like
filled with like the brightest people. It's not. There's a lot of idiots in the Air Force.
No, it
Hey,
takes
Sean,
years
next
for us
road
to
trip
get
that you
smart.
go, or when you go camping next time, I
Yeah.
want you to fill up your Camelback, put it on your back, and drive to your destination.
Oof.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know about like Sean. So you would be okay with the plate? And you don't run plate carriers. Like, I guess that's the way to look at it. Like, if we were going recon, would you just run? I'm gonna make fun of. Would you just run a chest rig? I mean, I normally you do run a chest rig.
Yeah, it just depends on the application. I mean, if we're talking something that's more combat oriented and tactical, absolutely going to have a plate carrier.
But
But-
would you run water stuck to you?
No,
Because
no.
I always realize this too. Like, if I take a pack and I take it off and it's got my water in it, I can come find it later, or I'm not around anymore. Either way, the problem
Yeah.
solves itself, right? But if I have the water on me and I get shot, be like, "Where's all your water?" at? Like, well, I'm a dummy, and I put it in front of my plates, and my plates got hit, so now I don't have any water.
Yeah, it's a really good point. I also am confident, like I can go find it if I want it. Obviously, there's some
Ooh.
places in the world where
Mm.
that's going to be much more difficult. But
That's what I'm going to
you're
say. Have a
prepared
Yeah.
for
For
survival
those of you that
straw and
don't
you're
know, what Sean's talking about, he has magic.
Yeah.
He can just draw water from wherever.
good. Is there a punchline for that?
Oh, here we go.
Hey,
He's
but
trying.
the thing, you remember we used to have those big pallets full of water, and it's like 2 liters of water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like giant things of water. We used to just stuff those into Mat V's and go.
Can I get a liter of
That's
cola?
why I didn't. That's why I ended up taking my pack off my back.
they were
But
in the
I see
sun
what
so
Joe's-
long that it just was
Yep.
perpetually warm.
Yep.
Mm.
That's how you knew it killed all the bacteria. And I'm
Yeah, you could taste how
Because
it
it
killed the
tasted like
bacteria.
plastic. Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Who was this?
Oh, I just
12
saw that
Bravo.
Yeah,
Did you see it? 12 Bravo shared this.
post that up in Discord.
What did he share?
I'm waiting.
We're trying to link it. We're
bro,
just being
I see
slow.
that. Where did he get that?
It's probably
he
got
made
it from right now.
He made it. What do you mean, where did he get it?
I'm telling you. That is
That's
you.
pretty
Like, all
good.
we got to do is put the helmet on you, and we could just like we have that ear pro. We have the same. We have it all. We can just put that
Yeah.
on you.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty good.
Good job, Bravo.
Thanks, guys.
What
All
is
right.
what have you
We're
done?
a little over our time. That's fine. It's okay. But this is kind of another exciting one. So last week, you guys that were here, you know that we had a sponsored live chat, and this week we have another sponsored live chat. Defense Mechanisms. Put this together. Everyone else in the green room, so you guys can't hear them. You're stuck with me. I have MEPC 1.0 on. Love Defense Mechanisms. Love Jesse over there. Everything that they make is fantastic. I don't have any issues with any of the Defense Mechanism stuff. So hopefully you guys are. I could hear them. And I know that everyone else can hear me. So this is awesome. So Defense Mechanisms, defensemechanisms.com, discount code TLDCO.
They're the worst. I think next time we just mute. I think you can just. So next time you just mute the offstage feeds and be like, all right, I'm not dealing with you fools.
Well, yeah, so
Sorry,
it was interesting
listen.
because I could hear them.
Yeah, you
But
can
no
mute
one
a
else
lot of
can.
them. Yeah, I don't think anyone else can. But no, big thanks to Defense Mechanisms. We love working with them. We love supporting them. They're one of our favorite groups to deal with. And one of the pieces behind the scenes is you guys don't get to see our interactions with them. But from SHOT Show to just hanging out, just phone calls to how we get stuff out to you guys, they're just an awesome group. And I love dealing with them on a day-to-day basis. So
And if
hats
you
off
want to have
to,
a placard set, like a Lego set, then look them up.
It's
I
funny
do
when
like the little ticker thing.
Yeah, when I put together that that little ad read section, I was like, I am going to make sure that Joe's not on there because last time he interrupted my ad read,
No, I didn't.
We
bugged
still
me.
did. That was the best part.
You gotta
Did
let
I
it
You couldn't
really?
hear us the whole time
Could
we
you
were
guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's how
So
we
we
knew
knew
that you could hear us because
the
I could
pausing.
tell your attention was being
Yeah,
pulled
it
in
was.
2 different
It was
ways.
so. There's a switch down here that says listen to offstage feeds. So I
You
should
shouldn't
have.
have done
I
that.
should have clicked that. So then I wouldn't have
Yeah.
heard you guys.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love the.
How did
hold
I
on,
interrupt you last time?
Look at this
I was
comment.
talking something about HRT, and then
Rage.
you jumped in and it like totally threw off what I was saying.
Oh,
Oh man.
sorry, dude. I didn't mean to. This
I
time
love
I meant to. You threw me
Yeah.
backstage, but
Rage Shadow Legends. I love that. Hey, we're legit now, but no, yeah. Big thanks to Defense Mechanisms. If you want some
Raid
really good
Shadow
gear,
Legends.
check out their website. Use our discount code. I love their stuff. As Joe was saying, like it's just like Legos. You can expand it out. You can drop it all down. And the 2.0 setup kind of shows you how you can just do whatever you want.
Oh.
So yeah.
yeah,
Another
if
YouTuber
anybody were to
says,
come to me and say, "Hey, what should I get?" I'd be like, "Well, what mission set do you want it for?" And if they say anything besides a very specific mission set, I'm going to say Defense Mechanisms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're like, "Well, I'm not really sure," sometimes I want this Defense Mechanism.
Yeah, just get that. You'll be good. Because you can, like you said, you can just change it all out.
Another YouTuber says bottles over bags, but Platis and MSR drawn bags get a pass. Plate
Okay.
Platis?
Okay,
Platypus
Like
bags.
camping stuff.
Those are
Oh,
great.
platypus.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm guessing that's
Walsh,
what
does that
they're
give
going
you a
with.
hint on who this might be? Someone that can't spell?
No, that's somebody.
Okay.
If Sean knew what that was, that gives me a hint. That's probably a seer guy because but I say that was some very specific gear that they mentioned.
No, MSR is they make all the camping stoves and stuff.
Yep. Yeah, if you walk into any kind of sportsman's or
Yeah.
Maybe not.
REIs or
Yeah, I've heard of platypus.
about
I
to
haven't
say
heard of
REI.
platis, though. That threw me off.
Maybe that's what they meant. I don't know.
So-
Every
Probably.
single comment,
Is that
another
those
YouTuber
little
put-
bags?
Yeah, they're pliable. They're honestly really great. They're
Yeah.
gonna be super compact, lightweight. They're a little less durable than most things MSR, but it's a great option.
I think Sean gets a giddy walking into REI as we do.
Oh,
with
yeah, he would.
Cabela's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's his store.
Hold on, though. I want to read this comment because this is no. Don't take that away. Ryan Doherty says you will need water in combat. You'll be surprised how thirsty you get. I would love to be like Joe, be like, Walsh, can you cover that guy? And I'd be like, hold up,
Hold on,
you good now? Like, almost.
down.
Okay.
Well, listen,
Well, still down.
You know-
I'm like, are you up
you know
yet?
how
And I
many-
look over and he's still sucking on it.
how many gallons of hot water I drew out of that straw, spit it on the ground to get the cooler water in my bag?
Why are you doing that? So every time you drink in, you should push all the water back into your bladder after every
Because
single
I'm
time.
not smart.
That's called
Listen.
backwash, and that's gross.
Those are people who know
We're
what they're
not
doing.
survival
Hey,
experts. Okay,
and Sean-
again,
Sean,
we had an entire water bladder for like 5 minutes of needing it. Dude, I can waste 3/4 of it and be fine.
So
and Sean,
it's
when
all-
I went to people like you to train me to do that stuff, instead of y'all training me to do that, y'all just picked on me.
Yeah, smack me in the face.
that doesn't sound right at all. So
Oh, dude, I saw one female get smacked so hard. I was like, okay, I think that's crossing the line, but I'm not gonna say anything.
how do we go from that to that?
I have no
We're
idea.
just
Survival?
talking about
This is
pushing
like
water
so-
and air
so
back into
random.
the bag.
So
Innocent
random.
No,
top.
that would have been something a smarter person would have done, but I wasn't.
So
being
so
smart.
real deal. Like, so if you're in a hot environment or like a really super cold environment, always push the water back into the bag. So it, like if you've ever had that hose freeze in cold, it doesn't unwork itself very easily. So
No, I'm
Yeah.
not going out and stuff like
So,
that when it's that
I'm-
cold, dude. Why would
I'm
I?
freezing.
Sean, no, he loves that because he's always like, hey, well, let's just do some training. I'm like, all right, it looks good. He's like, actually, we're going to wait a week. Like, why is that? Like, because it's going to get like 20 degrees colder. Like, bro, it's -10. Like, yeah, we'll wait.
that's
like,
the way to do it.
Great.
Croak
If it's
Croak
not
said
raining, you ain't training.
my infantry days were a lot less mechanized, so humping your own water was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Mm.
Colin
get it.
Robbins, I haven't seen you comment before, so apologize if I've missed it. It says, I ordered an MEPC on Tuesday, and my first PC based on TLD videos just shipped already. Face pink tears.
I don't
I think
know.
that's an
It's face.
emoji.
I like
That's
how
an
the
emoji.
emojis like come as words. So like
Yeah.
whatever that is like what?
Is that a
Colin
wizard
was
one?
like,
That
I
counts.
didn't
That
write
counts.
that. No, you didn't write that. That's just
I love like
it doesn't
That's not a
show the
wizard one.
emojis.
I love this, and I can like make a Kool-Aid man.
J-Fish. I built my battle belt from Defense Mechanisms, and I love it so far.
Nice.
Best cummerbunds in the biz. 12 Bravo says, but their stuff at DM doesn't look big boy compatible to me. Maybe I may be wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to pick on Tim, but he's not. Tim's not tiny in any way, shape, or form. I mean,
Yeah, he's like 6'3".
yeah, he's if it can fit Tim, you're gonna be all right. Like I think that's a good range because between Tim and Jesse, you kind of got two different body types, and they can both use.
Who's Tim for people that have no idea who you're talking about?
Tim is one of the owners of Defense Mechanisms. Jesse, if you go and watch any stuff on their website, you're going to see most of the time when they're talking about their gear, you're going to see Tim and Jesse as the main people in the studio talking about their gear. So they talk about their helmets, things like that.
Tim's bald. He's got like a red beard, and he's kind of a heavier guy, tall guy. But Jesse's this like beanpole. He's probably 5'10", but he's like 110 pounds.
Yeah, he looks like a model. It's like always trying to look fancy. he's gonna text me and be like, I do not. Nah, he's super good.
I do have
Murphy.
their
sorry.
like inner belt that I bought, and it's made for big boys. It's big on me.
Well, it's the way they design it is it just folds over a long way too. So there's just a lot of adjustability.
Oh
So, yeah.
And speaking of that, that's one of the things that I really liked about that one was that the cummerbund went Velcro on the back.
Oh yeah.
So if you change your jacket, if you gain some weight or whatever, you still got to adjust it, but not an absolute pain.
Yeah.
I do want to say it's a good segue. I've been playing with the Shaw Concepts one, and it's the same god awful design as like that Spiritus System LV119 with like the bungees that you route through everything. And like I've already had to change it like 5 times. I hate it. Like I'll give you guys a segue right now. I hate that rear connection. So yeah.
I don't understand why companies do that.
No, and it's
I wonder if it's a contract thing. Like they have to have it that way.
Ugh.
Cheaper?
How's this one? I know it's a pain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
look
the
at
that one's
Grey
gnarly too, but it's just
Grey
a
Ghost.
double malice clip. That's not as bad as the bungee. But like I'm with you, Sean. Like maybe it is. I think the way they're cheating it is they're making a rigid cummerbund having a bit of elastic by having a bungee that secures it. So the bungee itself is that relief, but it's just not good. Compared to, particularly when you see the stuff that Defense Mechanisms and Agilite are putting out, you're like, dude, don't do that.
Yeah.
Big old Velcro panel. You just tear them off, put them down.
Yep.
Oh, and then and a lot of these guys have the bungee like built into that hook and loop back panel, so it's all hidden too. So it has the same function. It's just so much easier. Oh, it's really cool. Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey, I'm going to try to do, we're going to get into Q&A. I know we're like 10 minutes into it already, but I want to see if that chat box function that I built works. So let's try this out. Q&A.
Is there a cool transition? Oh, here it comes.
Because I can't.
If we switch out of studio mode, we can read it. Switch out of studio mode. You can read it. Oops, we both clicked it.
Stop touching stuff.
Why don't you get a computer, Jason? Then you could read it.
They see.
Yeah, but
what do they
how is
see?
it scrolling?
Yeah, I don't know what that's not where we're at. No, it is. It's at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Hey, look at that.
Oh, real quick before we go into that. If
Haha.
anybody's watching the Kansas City game, I have a drinking game for you that one of my coworkers came up with. So anytime you watch the Kansas City game, every time they show Taylor Swift, you drink.
You have to drink.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
you'll be blackout drunk by
Blasted.
the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's like how do we make Kansas City Chiefs good again? Like, get a music star. Like,
It's so dumb.
yeah,
Right.
I like this. We can see everybody's comments. That's pretty cool.
So you can read those, okay, everyone, except for Joe. I'm not counting Joe.
Yeah, I can't.
No
But
way.
you still
Make
got to
it
read them
serious.
out loud.
Yeah, so Jay Serious, the newest comment says new live stream stuff. How's the new software? I like it. I think it's good. So this is what at this point of the live chat what we're trying to do. There's 3 questions that I put together.
Oh, okay. Well, so you'll be back.
Why did I do that?
Yeah,
Did I
I
just
mean,
freeze on
it's
you?
working great. It's
You're good now.
as you
You're
can
good.
see,
Keep
it's
going.
How's that
Yeah.
for Q&A?
working amazing.
Keep
So I do. I have 3 questions that I put together for the group. No one knows what these questions are, so let's run them. So question
Yeah, and
number
you
1:
guys all comment. You comment too as we go.
how could we better protect our kids at school? And not something. I'm not looking for a simple answer as like arm people, but what can we do?
No, well, you can't. Sorry, can I go
No,
first?
go for it. Yeah, I mean this is open discussion.
No.
You can't control arming people at school, so that's not something that you can do. You as a parent, you're gonna have to teach your kids. Like it's a real no joke scenario stuff, and it sounds like you're a prepper and doomsday and everything like that, but you're gonna have to teach your kids on what to do in situation and hope that they can act or react.
If you homeschool, you can arm the people at school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting
but
those
point.
2 last comments. Croak said easy homeschool. Zach
there you
Fett
go.
said homeschool is a perfect answer.
yeah,
See,
but
you guys are gonna be angry. I think homeschool is a horrible answer, and I say that because I have dealt with so many people, and you guys are gonna be super angry about this, and I don't care. But I can tell if somebody's homeschooled in about 8 to 12 seconds. That's about how long it takes me to determine if they've been homeschooled or not, because they lack a significant amount of social skills and interaction, and it's a challenge when all of your life is spent socially interacting and you didn't spend those key years doing it. Now, there's ways around that, and you need to be really, really active if you're going to homeschool somebody, and making socialization a huge part of their curriculum, like 60% of your curriculum, because that's the thing they're going to remember. So that's homeschool.
So
I don't think is the right answer.
and I think there needs to be a caveat to that. So
Okay, well,
I'll jump in. So
whatever that kept.
going on here, why do I keep cutting out?
Okay,
It seemed to
a
work.
lot of
like
schools are.
go for it, Cody.
I was going to say a lot of schools are doing. They do have training for active shooter. Same thing with the fire drills, tornado drills. They do intertwine active shooter drills. So if your kids don't come home and say, "Hey, we did this drill and this is what we did," ask them questions. Make sure they understand what the procedures are. But if you don't hear that stuff is going on at your school, go and ask, like, hey, do you guys have a plan if something like this were to happen? I know, especially around here, we're by a military base. They lock the schools down all the time. They have plans and procedures for that. So I'm pretty confident, they know what's going on.
And I would say to that, Cody, that parents need to know, like actually know what the procedures are.
Yeah.
But and I want to bring up something, and maybe I had that conversation maybe 3 weeks ago with a coworker, and their school, right? It was all lockdown stuff. But if you're in between classes, or if somebody had the bathroom or out in the hall or whatever, and it went on lockdown, they're not getting back into the classrooms.
Yeah.
And he said that, you need to go and pretty much hide somewhere or whatever. And I was like, dude, I would 100% tell my kid to head for the closest door and run out of that school. And here's my train of thought. He went like, well, then that leaves them, out in the open. Yeah, but the likelihood of the shooter and his kid being in the same exact spot is pretty slim, right? And if he makes it out the door, what shooter going to go out the door trying to look for somebody? They're going to stay within the building.
Yeah, but also they got to understand the accountability part when it's all over, right?
Yeah.
So eventually it's all going to calm down, hopefully. So they also got to understand. So if I run out of the building, I need to be accountable somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I think we're hitting the key thing here is having those conversations, like, and between like some people may like, hey, my way of mitigation is homeschool, and my way of mitigation is this, and all of those things are correct mitigations. But I think what we're saying is at least having a conversation with the kids, like, hey, are you guys talking about this at school? What, even like Joe saying, what's your strategy if this happens? What's your strategy? when Cody says, if you do that, no, make sure you circle back. Like, make sure to have these conversations.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's
this
what-
is
When
there's
you
a-
frame your question, are you talking about just keeping our own kids safe or all the kids safe? I
Ooh.
think is the other thing that we got
I
to
think-
look at.
Good
I think it's
point.
both. I'll tell you where this question came from. Was my daughter, the high school that she goes to is a two-story. They have 2 stories to it, and she was like, almost all my classes are on the second floor, and they had a active shooter drill at school, and so she brought up the question. She's like, none of my classes have ladders, and I said, well, what do they do in the drill? She said, it's shut the door, turn off the lights, and everyone go to a corner. And I was like, man, it's like, we know that that's open season for a shooter if they get through that door.
Don't cattle it up.
She's asking, she's like, what do I do? And that's kind of what, for me, I'm like, man, what would they do? I really liked, if you guys aren't following your favorite libertarian, his YouTube channel, he actually did a review recently on like a fire escape ladder for people on the second floor of, for a residential house. But I thought, why can't schools have something like that, especially for these types
Because
of
99% of the time the window don't open like in the hotel rooms.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
Out.
So that's one of the things I've talked to my daughter about, getting her the little window breaker, like a Rescue Me. And I said, hey, if you're on the first floor, like pop that, there's an active shooter, pop that window, hop out the window, and you run.
So I think you guys are bringing up some really great points. But what kind of, I think you have to help your kids understand that frame of mind, that concept, which to some of these young kids, that's a tough one to do. Kids don't go into a school and say, okay, these are my egress routes. This is what
Joe does that.
This is what I would take up. Well, our kids do. But I mean, if you were in a combat environment, when would you actually set up a defensive posture? How would you do that if you were unarmed? Would you do that if you were unarmed? Would you choose to seek an alternate route out? I mean, those are all things that we might naturally run through, but kids aren't going to be doing that.
Well,
and
this
I
is
would say
interesting
this, Jason, too.
Yep.
Do research before you give that to your daughter.
Oh,
because those are designed for car windows,
Mhm.
which car windows are what's the type? Tempered glass.
Tempered glass.
So it shatter into lots of little pieces.
Mhm.
Most building windows are double pane and they're pane glass, and if you break it like that, the whole pane falls down, and it can decapitate you. It can be a guillotine.
So going off of what Sean was saying, one of the comments, Richard Snyder said, easiest answer is to think about acceptable losses. Kids are going to die and nothing you can really do about it. Just teach kids basic life savings courses. And so that's, as sad as that might be, that is something to consider. I think a lot of the whenever there's a shooting at a school, emotions are high, rightfully so, but a lot of people try to make decisions based on those emotions, and they're not really based in facts. Where you look at, well, what's an acceptable loss? If you were to count the number of kids that die in school shootings in a given year and compare that with just the number of not firearm deaths, but deaths in general, you're talking about less than 1/10 of 1%. It's so minimal. So why are we crafting legislation on something that is so unlikely to happen?
Yeah.
It's because emotions get involved. And so to Sean's point, I think talking about these things now with kids and teaching them certain skills that could help them if they are in an event like that, super beneficial.
Yeah, and I mean, there might be other options depending on if they want to throw money into it. I mean, these schools aren't built to have safe areas in the schools. I mean, every classroom is built to be able to get through a door, no problem, even if they are locked.
Yeah.
So, there are options.
Yeah, your favorite libertarian says, we talk about a lot of this stuff in my son's MMA classes. Also good for social skills. We homeschool, so we make sure they are in skills training, other groups as well.
I like that.
Just pivotal.
Yeah. We had my jiu-jitsu gym highlighted 2 girls. The 2 older ones, they were both in grade school. They were walking home with their younger sister, and someone tried to kidnap the younger sister. These 2 older girls jumped on him, screamed, yelled, scratched, bit, did everything that they could to scare him off. And then when the cops came, they actually went with the cops to show them where the guy went, and they were able to capture the guy. So these 2 girls were highlighted by the professor of our local gym.
That's cool, but did they not learn rear naked choke yet? Or
well, you got to think they were probably 8 and 6, I think.
Yeah, they're real.
I mean,
And so
no,
trying
their
to
size,
jump
though,
up
it's
on top of
pretty
a
wild.
if you know the technique, there's no excuses, dude.
Hey, but I
yeah,
love
you
this
can't
comment.
get your arm around a person's neck if your arm's not long enough.
Not big enough.
Well,
Croak said,
figure it
and I
out.
love Croak so much. It's like, you don't need 12 years of socialization, Lord of the Flies. Pitt, that is public school to learn to socialize. Homeschool 8 years, then send them to the gladiator games. That is high school.
Yeah.
Also, I recommend that. That is a good one too.
Hey,
Well-
teach your kids how putting just your foot, against the door can prevent people from opening the door.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
It might be just enough to deter them to go to another door.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't get in here. Yeah,
Well, do some
right.
do some research. There's a lot of devices out there that
I know.
you can
That
help
flip
lock,
up.
barricade the door and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I like this how we can see the chat. I think this is cool. Like we can see people as they're talking too. Yeah.
Cool.
All
right. Next question. Question number 2. What are some simple things we can do to help the Second Amendment?
Ooh, education. I think the number one thing we joked about this, and it's like, it was funny when we said, hey, what do people not understand when they start making firearm legislation? And Joe made a joke. It was like, firearms. And it's like, no, seriously, that's the problem. Like, there needs to be a level of education understanding. So I think that's a lot of what I do. When I try to educate from the 2A, I do just a lot of firearm education of like, here's how they work, here's what they do. The wooden ones that you guys think are totally cool, those are the scary ones. Like, those are the ones that make me scared. The big wooden ones or the little tiny ones. But the AR-15s, like, yeah, those are tricky. But okay, sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I would say vote. I'd be willing to bet there's a bunch of people in the comments right now that don't actually go and vote.
Interesting.
Start voting.
Ducklesworth says, tar and feather tyrants learn that voting isn't real.
Right. Yeah, like directly opposite.
Hey, 1911 Drew's in the house. What's up, 1911 Drew?
Hey,
So if
there
you
was a
just
couple
joined
people-
us, our question is, what are some simple things we can do to help the Second Amendment?
Hey, there was a couple people who I know they left. I lost track of where their comments were though, but they had to leave earlier. I say that
Okay.
it's not very useful.
Bye.
Now. Yeah, I probably should. Not very useful now that I can't find their comments.
Felicia.
Disregard.
Timing.
That's Felicia.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, 076 Liberty. I want to say thanks to him
Okay.
coming out. Had to put his kids to bed, so he was heading out.
Oh, night.
He's probably already gone now. That was 4 minutes ago. So yeah.
Yeah.
Over you,
Thanks
it.
a lot. Thanks a lot, Walsh. So I think education's a big one. And I think one of the things that we've talked about, we shared this story where Representative Massey was kind of going after another Democrat in Congress, and was like, you seriously think that I think it was a brace turns a gun into a fully automatic weapon? Like the internet's going to school you, right? So you can't argue with idiots. And so how, in my mind, the way that you kind of help the Second Amendment, it almost has to be kind of a grassroots movement where you are educating your neighbors and those that are in your neighborhood. Last night, my son had his youth group over, and we broke out the Mantis Blackbeard system. We went over pistols, revolvers, 1911, shotguns, rifles, and the AR-15, and then they had a competition. So we did five round bullseye using the Laser Training Academy, and then we did from low ready, one shot, and like how fast are you, and how close to the target can you get? And it ended up being one of like the 14-year-olds shot dead center bullseye in like 1.47 seconds.
Nice.
Pretty good.
So education is a huge thing. Just getting people so that they're not scared of these guns. Like these aren't scary. The people behind them might be, but the tool itself is not scary.
Yeah.
And like even I did some education with my. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
The thing that you can do solely right now is vote, be active in all the comments section and all that stuff when they're trying to pass all of this stuff. And then I forgot the third. I lost it. And donate to pick a group and donate.
Yeah.
Like FPC and destroying people in court right now.
Oh, they're doing great.
But they're jumping. I mean, look how many lawsuits they have in how many different states, and they can't do that for free. So if you can't do any of the other thing, then donate either some of your time or money.
Yeah, this is interesting. Jay Sirius, if you see the second comment from the bottom there, says education would be huge. Reading over definitions in New York state law, you could interpret a shipping container range with sound deadening foam as a, quote, firearm silencer, end quote, by how they word it. Like, yeah, you're dealing with some morons.
Yeah. And it really comes down to education, like adding a piece onto what Joe said. Even talking to my brother one time, I showed him an AR-15, and then I showed him a small. I was like, "Hey, here's what's super scary and dangerous." I was like, "But good thing this one isn't." And it showed a smaller one with no stock. I was like, "That's a pistol, and it's not scary anymore." And he's like, "Those are the same thing." I was like, "Yeah, I know. Isn't that dumb? Like, isn't it dumb how we've somehow magically, because we took a stock off or something, now it's different?" And so he started to understand of like, okay, I get it. I get a little bit more of why the legislation we're doing isn't actually making me any safer. Like, no, it's just silly.
And I
This is
painted mine
interesting.
purple.
GL Dude 14 says civil and criminal penalties up to and including imprisonment for those holding office who knowingly violate rights, like the governor of New Mexico. Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we talked about here in Washington with the magazine ban when they were trying to pass it was, look, let's wait to see what's coming out of California and the magazine ban out there. Let's wait till that plays out, because if that ends up getting ruled unconstitutional, why are we going to put a law on the books that will also, it's the same circuit, it will also be ruled unconstitutional? They didn't care, they pass anyway. So now this is this kind of predicament that I feel like I'm in, where my tax money is going to fund the attorney general who's going to be arguing in favor of that. And then I also have to give money to places like FPC or Washington Gun Law to fight on my behalf. So I'm getting screwed twice. I feel like
if you can, instead of jail and prison time and all that sounds great, but it won't happen. If it's negligence on their part, right? They did it on purpose, knowingly did it. Then they have to pay the government back the money. Like if you are responsible for a forest fire, right, negligence, you can be on the hook for $1 million to put that forest fire out, right?
Yeah.
Same thing.
12 Bravo says, just stop paying taxes, Jason. I wish.
Let's be honest. The only thing a stabilizing brace does is make an AR identify as a pistol.
Yeah. Another YouTuber, some quick math. A kid may be more likely to be killed by a shark than a school shooter in the U.S. Always reach out to your representatives. Be vocal and not irrational. Bring facts when speaking.
God, every time another YouTuber puts any comment, I get...
it hits me in the feels, dude.
Because that's a rational person. So like Hop and Brass Facts are probably out.
Yeah.
It's definitely not me. You know that.
Yeah. This is an interesting topic. Do you think that exposure to the Second Amendment in responsible ways is a beneficial, or is going to create a positive understanding of it? Like, I think education is a good thing, but I feel like there's so many different things that people get kind of brainwashed to.
Well, it's also a changing of time, right? And we've talked about it. I had archery class in PE where we got to shoot, recurves. We learned how to string them and everything, and got to shoot them and stuff. And we've taken all that out of schools. I mean, I went to a small school, and I'm old, but I went to a school where if there's a rifle in the gun rack of your truck out in the parking lot, it was fine.
That's what I mean. That's kind of what I grew up with.
Yeah. And so, Sean, I would say I would try to get rid of the outliers, because like the ones, the headline catching ones are the ones that are usually the most ridiculous. Like, I think that's what people go for now. They want to go for the shock and awe. And they usually say things so wildly ignorant that it makes a headline somewhere. Like the lady, the one we laugh about all the time in Colorado, where she's like, we get rid of these large capacity magazines because they're going to shoot all the bullets and then they'll be empty. And it's like, lady, you just put more in there. Like, but these people just don't know that. And I think with just a basic fundamental level, it just takes off that top 10% of just wildly stupid things.
I don't want the people trying to get rid of my rights to be informed. I don't want them to be informed.
Yeah.
Do you guys being stupid helps us.
That's tricky.
Do you guys enjoy seeing other people open carry?
No.
If your state allows it?
Yes.
No, I hate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean,
hate it
more power to them, but it's also like, so this is my thought. I'm like, hey, I like you what you're doing, but if somebody were to cause a ruckus in this room, that's the first guy they're going for. And
Yeah,
hey, good for
and I
me.
agree. We've
Like,
had that discussion, right? But if 50% of everybody out there open carrying,
oh, then you're good. Yeah, there's like
best
Yeah.
of
10 of you in
luck,
a room. Like,
buddy.
never mind, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a huge deterrent, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I
whatever
guess
you
that's
want.
where I'm
People
going
don't
with
normally rob gun stores. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, not
Yeah.
during business hours.
Yeah.
that.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
And
Yeah,
Sean, and you make a good point though. If like all 5 of us were hanging out and all open, like if one was open and carrying, the other 4 were concealed carrying, that's a jerk move.
Yeah. Jay Sirius says, I believe they should be able to open carry, but I will stay concealed. Yeah. I think having the ability to open carry, you should.
I just miss. I can't say miss. I want the day back, like kind of the Wild West, where everybody had a gun,
Yeah.
and then everybody carrying it.
It makes some
Just
people
no big
really
deal.
nervous. And like,
I guess that's kind of what I'm making my point across with. Like when you walk into an actual like gun range or something like that, and everybody's carrying, like those places aren't going to get messed with a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that the
They're
problem
gonna
is you also
they're gonna get
realizing the
shot.
fact that we are like rational and trained individuals. So like, right. So like our brains fully function and we're qualified on our firearms and we know the angles of the law. Let's assume that 90% of the population doesn't have any of that. Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, hey, you just kicked my car. Like, well, I shot that guy. What'd you shoot that guy for? He was too close to my car. Like,
Yeah.
you stupid idiot.
Well, that's the
XL
Darwin
Tomahawk.
Award. Then they're off the street, and we don't have to deal with them
Yeah.
anymore. You know what I mean?
XL Tomahawk and Iron Sight both had the same comment. An armed society is a polite society.
yeah,
We don't
Yep.
disagree.
But I also like Jason thought process too with training the kids, because no joke, in 20 years from now they're going to be fighting the good fight, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And if nobody training their kids anymore, then as time goes on, nobody will wear fire anymore.
Right.
Nobody know about them. Everybody thinks
Yeah.
that they're scary, and just
So here
more and
was-
more of the population that infects it and grows.
So here was something that I thought was really cool about last night. That was not my you owe each other a Coke. Yeah, there was a jinx over in the comments.
Yeah.
So last night the training with the Mantis Laser Academy and teaching them about guns, that was not my idea at all. Like I was here editing a video, my son walks in, he was like, "Hey Dad, can you do firearm safety course for my youth group?" And then he took it upon himself to text message all the kids and their parents.
Wow.
This is what we're going to do. Are you guys okay with that? We're not going to have any live rounds. We're not going to be shooting any live ammo, but we're just going to go over firearm safety. Like having a kid that's
Yeah.
willing to take that on himself.
cool.
It was a proud
Hats
dad
off
moment,
to the
but-
parents that allowed it too.
yeah. And all of them did. Not every kid was comfortable handling a firearm, and it was okay. Like there was 3 adults, including me, so we had some oversight. But it wasn't like you have to do this. You got to pick this up and be comfortable
Yeah.
with this. Like, hey, you're not comfortable.
What
that's
are
fine.
you, a sissy?
Yeah.
So, I want to jump on this comment real quick before you go anywhere, because I'll highlight this. The hardest part for me has been learning all this alone because my parents were sissies. Now, my parents weren't sissies, but they didn't like guns. They still don't like guns. They didn't want guns in the house. So I had to like really lean on Joe and Jason and Cody and all that stuff to learn firearms. And even from Sean, it's like, he's like, how do I learn more from you guys? Kind of the same way. So, really lean on your friends, lean on people, be humble. Be like, I don't know about firearms, particularly when you first buy one. You can be like, I'm Johnny Cool. Like, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Too
Find
bad you went to
somebody-
Cody first, or else we could have got you a handgun worth of crap.
Every week.
Every time.
Um,
Ryan Doherty's leaving.
Hey,
Nugget.
Ryan. Thanks, buddy.
Later,
Appreciate being
Ryan.
here. Okay, so last question. I think we've answered this one already. What will
I
it
always
take
tell
for
them
the
questions, but anyway, yeah.
what will it take for the American public opinion to shift positively on gun control? And I think
That's
we've
a weird
touched on
question.
that.
What do you mean by positively? I guess positively is
Positively and
contextual.
yeah. So
I'll tell you
from our
what
view,
it's
like
going to take,
how-
and
how to
you're
have the
gonna get mad
American
at me.
public more in favor of less restrictions.
Less restriction. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Jump.
I'll tell you what it could take, and everybody could get mad at me, but Ukraine and Israel are prime examples. When everybody
And-
a victim and nobody can stop a bad guy with a gun, and there are multiple of them, and you can't just stand around and wait for police to show up or whatever, then I bet you. Well, I can't say that because the government in Ukraine doesn't seem very good, but I'd be willing to bet Ukraine, from my understanding, correct me if somebody knows better, they used to be able to have personally owned firearm, and the government ended up taking them all away, and then all this stuff happened, and the government like, oh, we need our citizens to defend the country. Here, pass out guns.
Yeah.
It's too late by then. They lack the training. They don't know the firearm that you're handing them, and you're handing them just some random crap. So I'd be willing to bet that after all of this, if Ukraine's still an own country, that their policy is going to change.
Yeah.
And I think part of COVID, I think COVID had something too, where so many people were like, things were, could have gone way more sideways than they did. People were trying to make it, people made their whole YouTube and Instagram careers on just freaking people out over COVID, which is great that they don't have to do that anymore. But it did make people realize they may want to defend themselves, or at least have a simple way. And I think this is also highlighting it too. Now, do I think people are going to take that home? I don't. And I think that's because it's not them. Like, they're not the ones having to feel the pressure of it. And I'm with Joe though. Like, I hope they do. I hope they see, like, and then we're seeing a ton more plate carriers and plate, the actual plate sales.
Yeah, now they're trying to go after that, right? Now the government trying to outlaw that.
That was something I think Jay Sirius talked about, that in New York you cannot buy armor, like body armor or armor plates anymore.
Yeah.
So the idea, like even buying a plate for your kid's backpack at school, you can't do that.
So
you can't actively defend yourself. You can't passively defend yourself. You're just a sheep.
You're just a cattle.
So you mentioned Ukraine, and on the opposite side we have Israel. So Israel is still, as I understand it, 100% are going to be doing military service of some sort. So when they arm their citizens, they know there's probably something to that.
But I think that's what we're saying too. There's a process of like arming them. They're not always armed.
It's just okay. I don't know everything about Israel, right? But I've seen some video here and there. So the video that I saw was two guys with AKs. They come up to that sliding vehicle gate.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys seen that one?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so two guys come up. They're guard checked. They're not manned. They're a sliding vehicle gate. One goes inside the guard shack, the other one hides in a bush, and they wait for a vehicle to come up. And this is, I don't know what they call it, a villa or whatever. I don't know the Israeli language or name for it. But there's a whole community inside the walls, right?
Yeah.
And the car come up in an automated gate, so I'm sure they have a clicker or a pass or something. Right when the gate starts to move, these two idiots in their tactical eye formation, they shoot into the car. They kill both occupants of the car, I guess. Right when the gate started to move, all they wanted they tried to crawl under the gate, but they couldn't fit. So all they wanted that car for went to open the gate, and then the two individuals went in to where I'm guessing a whole bunch of family live, and just started laying waste to everybody. Two people.
Yeah.
And so, what I find very interesting is Croak is talking about. It says Israel has very restrictive gun control. If you get through the New York City, Los Angeles levels of permit process, you can have 50 rounds on a pistol. And I think that this would drive me the most crazy. So if I was in New York, it's like, hey, nobody's really trained, nobody really has guns. Okay, I can see where you're trying to build this utopian area. But there's another thing to be like, dude, you made me do military service. You taught me how to use it all, and then told me I can't have it. That's where I'd be like, that's where I would be a little butthurt about the process.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, I'm really hoping for the people of Israel, but I'm wondering if that changes over the course of the next 6 months to a year.
Well, that's what 12. Sorry,
Yep.
I think you
Sorry.
did too.
The conscript thing, or allowing them to have
allowing them to have weapon in their house.
Yep.
Yeah. So
They
GL dude, sorry. GL dude said allegedly 10 to 30,000 AKMs were handed out in the initial days of the invasion.
Mm-hmm. And 12 Bravo said,
But that's too late.
Just like Ukraine, right?
I agree.
Just like Ukraine. And I don't know what general. I think you and Japan general in World War II said that they would never invade the main continent of the United States because there would be a rifle behind every blade of grass, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, I have a whole bunch of blades of grass in my front yard, and I don't have enough rifles to be behind every single one of them. So I'm doing my part to try
How
to
much
up
grass
my.
you got in your yard?
You may
You
have
in
enough
Colorado.
rifles. You may like you got like 10,000 like you should own stock in PSA at this point.
Yeah, but I probably, if I'm not gonna go count them, but I probably have 1 million blades of grass. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm working
God.
on it.
Can we pay? Can we put a fund together to count them?
Yeah,
The
I'm
biggest
working on
thing
it.
is if your plan is to be reactionary, it is always going to be too
Yeah.
late. You're going to be
This is
behind the
Croak.
Oh,
mark.
yeah.
Croak said they already loosened up the gun restrictions and permit process by Monday morning in Israel, closing the barn door after the horses got out.
Yep, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those
I
like
like that one, Croak. Good
and
job.
it's
I
kind of
like
like
that one.
what Sean was leading to. Like even with the open carry, it's also like, yeah, okay, your own people aren't going to be as rowdy when everybody's trained and qualified and has this, but it's also an invading force can't do anything. It'd be like, dude, every person is trained and qualified and given the authority and knowledge and know how to do those things. So I mean, it just comes down to education and knowledge and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that if there's sleeper cells within the United States, or if there's ever an attack in the United States, there would definitely be certain city or states that they would attack, and other people would be left alone.
Yeah. Liberty Seeker said, so talking about Israel, they force jabs on the people and disarm their countrymen. Not the best decisions a country can make.
I do have a funny story to share. There was all these people freaking out that they're like, oh, did I tell you about the nanobots comment I made before?
No, I don't think so.
Not. So there's all these people freaking out about the nanobots, like, oh, make sure to turn off your phone during the national service thing. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's what I caught somebody on Instagram talking about it, and I was like, well, Mudblood here. Let you guys know that they activated my superpower, so sucks to suck, ladies.
Yeah, I like how somebody made a comment on. I saw a meme, right? Somebody made a comment on the internet, like, if you have a smartphone, then the government has your face and blah blah blah. They're going off on a tangent, right? And then somebody commented, like, wait until they find out about the DMV.
Like they're gonna know where you live. Like
if you don't think that stuff is already going on with your smartphone by now, like,
yeah,
I mean, just talk about ramen noodles for the next day and watch how many ads pop up. Like, it's not the PSA that got you. It was long before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Even when you search for something, you're like, let me find this for my friend. Like, let's look up longboarding. I don't know. Let's look up longboarding. And then, like, for the next 20 days, you'd be like,
done.
Do you want to buy a longboard? Like, no, I do not.
You're done.
Yeah, 12 Bravo says, well, since we're on this subject, how many of the same guys have already crossed our open borders and are waiting right now? Just saying. I mean, yeah, it's something that at least I'm thinking of. But we're way over time.
Oh yeah, what was the next? There was another.
Yeah, there was another segment that was supposed to start 20 minutes ago.
It was like a 2A segment that we kind of like leaned into it though.
Yeah, we did. But
so maybe next
make
time
it official. To make it official.
Okay.
You gotta go in studio mode, I think, don't you? I don't know.
All right.
Hey, blue.
Hey, Joe's phone's working finally.
Is it MP5 or what was it?
It was MP5, yeah.
Wasn't there some new updates this week though? I know we don't have much time, but I thought there was some
not good updates. I don't think they were good.
Not good. Not good.
So the Ninth Circuit, the magazine ban for the Ninth Circuit basically punted it until March or May.
My thing is they said that the state they extended the injunction because they said that the state was likely to succeed on the merits of the case. That tells you everything that you need to know, that they are going to fight this, and it's going to have to go to the Supreme Court again, even though the Supreme Court just said that it's not allowed and kicked it back to them. The Supreme Court dissenting.
I don't think they said that. They said they sent it back to them and they said you need to like re-rule this based on the Bruin decision.
Right, but they did say in the Bruin decision that it has to be based off of history and tradition, which I can't. Can anybody tell me the history and tradition on how many rounds?
So did you see the history and traditions that California is arguing? They're basing it off of Jim Crow laws that made it illegal for blacks to own firearms, and they were saying, "Hey, look, because we disagree with this. This was disgusting and it was terrible. But look, the country has done this before, therefore we're allowed to do this."
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying.
But did you see the dissenting opinions?
Yeah, it was. So Croak highlighted that 4 dissents, and one of them was really upset. Like, why is it that this is? It's always a Second Amendment that, like, why do people have to fight so hard for something that shouldn't be this difficult to to understand?
It's not a second class amendment.
Yeah, that's right. Croak says California is just trying to buy time and hoping 1 or 2 conservative justices in the Supreme Court die off while Biden can still appoint new ones.
And then on top of that, they said that the irreparable harm was to the state, because if they didn't do this, the high capacity magazine would flood the state.
Yeah.
How is that irreparable harm that you're allowed to exercise your constitutional right?
This is for me not knowing. Like, can't you can still have high capacity magazines, you just can't buy them?
No, technically, well, it depends. The Freedom Week stuff, yes, but
what if
they're grandfathered in, but all the high capacity magazines nowadays have to have date stamps on them and stuff like that. So, yes.
But what if I bring one over from whenever and I don't live there?
So technically, I mean, technically you'd be breaking the law, because the way the law was the wording of it is no importation. So if you were to fly in there with an empty third round magazine, like if it was already in California, that was fine. But you bringing it in, technically you're importing it.
Well, and it's a good question, because we actually brought this up and someone we were helping put a gun together for. We're saying he can't have high capacity magazines, but he wasn't in a standard caliber. So it was like a 6.5 Grendel. So I was like, well, that's confusing, because a 30 round PMag can't hold 30 rounds of 6.5 Grendel. So is it not a high capacity magazine anymore? And I was like, "Ooh, that's a wonky one. I don't know the answer to that."
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, super screwy. Like you had those, they didn't work very well, but those hex mags were supposed to hold 30 rounds of 5.56 or 10 rounds of 50 Beowulf. Well, 10 rounds, in most states, that's a standard capacity magazine.
Yeah, you're like you can't have high capacity magazines. Like, that's only 10 rounds. Just the caliber changed. So yeah. So that's where I never
must have
understood.
had a brace on that gun if you were able to shoot a 50 out of it. So the gun went 5.56, and then you put a brace on it, and now it can shoot a 50 Beowulf.
Now it can shoot 50. Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah.
Croak says unless you get caught importing, once the California resident has it in hand, they can't do much about it.
So learn how to keister.
It's never. You're only gonna get in trouble if you get caught. I mean, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like someone explained to me though, like maybe because I don't.
That's the thing. Let me go off on a little bit of a tangent. We've had I forget who he was and what company. I think he went through Palmetto State. But remember that whole, hey, you pay the monthly subscription, you get a lawyer. But then if you're convicted of a crime, then any crime, then you have to pay the whole thing, the whole lawyer cost, right? So it might have been a good shoot, like somebody breaking into your house, and it might have been a good shoot, but you had a high-capacity magazine when you did it. You're going to be convicted of that high-capacity magazine.
I think he cleaned that up, though. I think that was the beginning. But I think
that they're going to go after you for it. Look at, what's his name? They went after him. They threw everything but the kitchen sink at him.
Yeah.
And that's, but like maybe someone in the comments can clear me up, like I was talking about. How do they know how many, like you said, like it's a high capacity magazine for a particular caliber though. So if it's like, hey, he only owns 6.5, so he can't have held 30, so it can't be high capacity. It's just a brain damage conversation.
But
so yeah,
you do know that 6.5 fits like 26 rounds in that same.
Either way, it doesn't fit 30.
True, but it's over.
But
most states like it's like 10
I know,
rounds or 15 rounds. What Colorado's 15 rounds?
I don't know.
The limit? Okay.
I think so. Maybe.
You know what it is in Nebraska?
Nothing.
30.
Here we go.
Nothing.
Whatever you
poison
want.
Ivy. I don't care.
GL dude, they will probably argue constructive possession. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, what do we got left?
So I'm not saying that if you use your firearm for self-defense in your home that you might want to have a standard capacity magazine that you can put into your gun because that would be evident tampering, and that is wrong.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
12 Bravo says, damn, do y'all live in communist states? No.
Jason does.
Cody
Semi.
and Walsh are the only ones that live in free states.
Yeah.
Kind of, though, dude. I don't know. I would argue it
I
for
remember those
Colorado.
days.
Because the way
Argue
that
it
they
for
wrote
Colorado?
so the way that they wrote the law, Cody, for Colorado, is you can't sell the magazine, right? You can't sell the magazine because they're dumb, right? She thought of one-time use. They don't know how to write the laws. That's why I say ignorance is good in a sense. It doesn't say anything about parts kits. So you can walk into any gun store where I live, and you can buy the spring and follower in one bag and the shell in the other bag, and then voila, you
Two
have
different
30
things.
round.
Yeah.
Because they didn't sell a high capacity magazine. They sell.
Croak says, to clarify, 30 round mags aren't illegal to own. They're just not allowed to be purchased, unlike some other states that have hard limits on mag capacity.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's how it is.
Ooh.
That's kind of how it is here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know because
So-
we don't have any of that here.
No, you just got to go get your, I don't even know, camphorphenique for your poison ivy.
What? Zach Fett. The problem is most pistol mags are either stepped down to 10 rounds or they're 17 to 30 rounds. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
That's it though. Like we made it through all of our segments.
Look at us.
We're at the end of our comments.
We didn't talk about the force reset trigger.
We did not. Go for it. I
don't know
did not have it on
so-
my list of things to talk about.
So they did say that the ATF, the whatever court, ruled that the ATF completely overstepped their bounds. It's more of a technicality thing than anything. But they did agree that it is not a machine gun. But the only people that it protects is a very limited people, like only the plaintiffs and only in a very specific little area. But
it
at
got
least
weird.
moving forward.
But it got weird because it was like it protects them, but they're protected, and it protects them from selling or doing whatever they want. But so the tricky bit becomes the owner of the company is one of the plaintiffs. So it basically says that he can sell it from his company,
Yeah, but
and he
it
can
doesn't
sell it to
protect
anybody.
you for buying it.
Right, but he can't block him from selling. It gets they needed some clause.
It's weird. Well, what it is, and if they do a nationwide injunction, it's going to get snuffed out. So they're being smart about this. Same with the pistol braces, not doing that. That's for the Supreme Court to decide, right? So they're sticking to just the plaintiffs, but showing that it's going to win off of the merit, and that there is somebody with irreparable harm. That's all positive things. And the biggest takeaway on that is that they argued so well on it's not a machine gun because it is not a single action of the trigger to expel multiple rounds, and that's not what a force reset trigger is. It's in the name. Force reset. You have to reset and then do it again.
And he knew the verbiage of the law when he made it. It's very obvious.
12 Bravo said, so I could get a truckload of 30 round mags and go to Cali and hand them out for free. Croak says, no, you'd be a felon if they caught you bringing them in. But if you didn't get caught, the folks that received them are free and clear. Yeah, again, I think the language includes, it has a whole bunch of things like no sale, no importation. I think they even have exportation in there. Like you can't even sell it out of state.
It's just so weird. It's like saying you're banning a certain size of gas tank. It's like, oh, that size gas tank is banned, but like you just
in California they basically are.
Yeah, just exactly. Well, I guess kind of, but yeah, but it's in that weird vein.
All the cars have to be electric. Like you can't buy a gas car in California.
But yeah, they can't even charge them and run AC right now on the cars that they have.
Have rolling brownouts.
We did get into cars. Suckers.
We did
Thanks,
get into
Jason.
What's that?
All right, are we going to talk about what we have for this week? Or did you take that out?
We got 14 seconds.
Oh. Well,
Hurry.
okay. This is just where we just get angry at people and
and time.
Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't build an outro scene.
So we just have
all
to
this preparation
we'll have to go
to
old
try
school.
to make this.
So the screen's just going to go black.
I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean
Bye,
to do
everyone.
No.
Bye.
No.
No, you fixed
What happened?
it, aren't you?
You messed something up.
went what I would like. I said, just
we're
do it
back?
Just
Soprano style.
joking.
Just
This is
black
what we call
screen.
an encore.
Are you?
Man,
are
good
you-
thing we didn't. Good thing we didn't talk about what we were gonna do coming up, or else we would have went over our time.
Oof.
But you could imagine what we would talk about, though.
It's
Yeah.
thermals
Gun stuff.
and gun stuff and plate carriers. Jason, do you need aid?
Yeah. Almost.
Got eye trauma.
All right.
Mine
I'm
still
ready.
says live.
I'm
Okay,
ready.
good.
We
Okay.
are still live. All right. Hey, guys. Thank you for joining us on our Thursday night live chat. Sorry for all the hiccups. I thought I had everything, and God, so mad at
close.
myself for GL Dude, Wizard Butt Blast. That's for Joe.
I'm out.
As we head
Jay
out.
Series was happy to give the encore, so thanks. Yeah, we're back. Second round.
Encore.
We appreciate you guys. Appreciate you being here, and we will see you next Thursday. Adios.
Let's see
See
if
you
this
guys.
works. See what happens.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We'll awkwardly look at it.
You gotta
Where's-